morning. Don't let the facts get in your way. Great video, great picture. The sun is still there. Even in the midst of an eclipse, don't let the facts get in your way. And this is such a wonderful part of our teaching. I love it because it makes us all a little crazy to the world. We have a way of looking at life that differentiates circumstances one from another. One is it a fact? Because if it's a fact, it's going to change. That eclipsed sun was only eclipsed for a second before the moon started moving out of the way again. It was only fully eclipsed for one moment in time. Facts change. When we had a cut in our body, we're not still bleeding. Facts change. When we broke a bone, it's not still broken. Facts change. When we had not so much income, it's not still like that. It is. Go see a practitioner, especially one of these new 6 ones, and we'll change it right then and there. Facts change. Our experiences of life in the physical are constantly changing. The only thing constant is change. And there's a difference between that and what we in science of mind call truth. Truth is that which never changes. In our identity prayer, we say there is that life within me, which is eternal. It was never born and cannot die. Even if the body, which is a fact, lays itself down, that which is us is still alive. Where we go after that, I'm not sure. But there is that within us which was never born and cannot die no matter what is happening to our physical body. Life is a truth. Love is a truth. It's a verity of life. It's a synonym for spirit. Love never changes. Have you ever had a child yell at you and say, "I hate you"? Well, of course they don't hate you. They're just mad at the moment. They're using their little manipulative techniques to try to get what they want. Love is constant. Have you ever had a relationship end and you go, "I'll just never be able to love again"? Well, of course you can love again. Love is constant. The experiences in life, the relationships in life, the activities in life, those things that are in physical form are facts, and they change. So what I want you to remember today is don't let the facts, which are going to change anyway, get in your way. There is that within you that knows what it is you're to do, that knows where you're supposed to go, what kind of a life you're supposed to live, what is yours to do. And of course there may be facts in front of you, but that doesn't matter. They're just the facts. It reminds me of Sergeant Friday. You remember that on Dragnet? And they would go and they would interview the witnesses and they would try to tell and weave a story about it. And the detective would say, "Just the facts, just the facts." And I'm thinking, it's just the facts. That's all that it is. It's just the facts. It has no life of its own. It has no ability to determine our welfare except for the ability that we give it. It's just a fact. It's where we live. So what? It's what our job is. That's going to change. It's this breath that we take. We're not going to keep it forever. We're going to let it go just like that. It's the circumstances in our lives, the situations in our lives that change over and over and over again, and we get new ones. And what I love about this teaching is that we are empowered to have a say in what the new circumstances in our lives are. There is not an outside deity that is determining what our lives will be. There is only that God within us that either rises above the circumstances in our lives or succumbs and gives our power away. And as I said 2 weeks ago in that wonderful talk, freedom isn't free. I think it's for sale in the bookstore. Create the prison of our own making and then lock our own door and bemoan our fate. It's just the fact. We can change it in a moment. We can change it in a heartbeat. Our molecules in our bodies are changing every second. The amount of money in our accounts are changing every second. Our relationships are changing every second. Our direction in life is changing every second. It's up to us to decide whether or not we're going to stay the course and be the captain of our own ship, or whether we're going to let something decide who we will be in this life, what will happen to us, what our circumstances will be. One of the great ideas of this science of mind teaching is that we are creating our reality. That through our belief, through our thought, through the words that come out of our mouth, through the choices that we make, we manifest into form those experiences that then become our lives. And so many people out in the world say, well, I'll believe it when I see it, and we're the crazy ones who say, I'll see it when I believe it. When I believe it inside of myself, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the facts outside, I will have it in my hand. I will believe it to the point of manifesting it. And some people say, well, but you can't do that. And we go, we do it all the time. Whether we do it consciously or unconsciously is irrelevant. Every being on this planet is manifesting the circumstances in their lives through the power of God within them. We command the creative power of heaven and earth to show up in physical form as every molecule of our life. I love it when they call me crazy. I love it when they tell me you can't do that, because we do it over and over and over again. We change medical diagnosis. We change radiology film. We change money in people's bank accounts. We change the past. And of course we change the future. We will believe it to the level of seeing it. It doesn't matter whether it's never happened before. Robert Bitzer, one of the students of Ernest Holmes, had a statement that I love. He said, principle is not bound by precedent. It doesn't have to have happened before. What in the world would happen if we were limited to only experience that which has already happened? Many of us are. Many of the people, at least walking around the planet, are. They say that my life is a closed loop. All I have is so much, and that's all I'll ever have. These are my options. This is my potential, and that's all I'll ever be able to experience. But if that were so, the human race would never have any evolution. We would never have any growth. We would never have any breakthroughs. We would never have any new inventions. We'd still be going around with, clubs and pretending it's the Ice Age, and nothing would have changed. Change happens all the time because principle is not bound by precedent. It doesn't matter if you haven't ever done it before. It doesn't matter if no one's ever done it before. Somebody's going to have to. Might as well be you. Might as well be you. We were at dinner the other night talking about the new documentation and willingness of the allopathic community and people in general to begin to embrace the idea that human beings can regrow digits. There's documentation about this, about people who have had a finger cut off and it's grown back. More than once it's happened. There's a paradigm shift of what's possible. A lot of it has to do with stem cells and the fact that we can grow ourselves a kidney in a laboratory. How cool is that? 100 years ago, they would have burned us at the stake for saying that. We can regrow things, and if we can regrow it from our own cells in a laboratory, why can't we regrow it inside of our own body? We can and we do. Just because you haven't read about it in Time magazine yet doesn't mean that right at this very moment you are not regenerating and regrowing the organs in your own body. You are. Everybody does. We do it constantly. They say the stomach lining regrows in 24 hours, which always surprises me with those Prilosec commercials. Why do you need that if you're going to regrow it in 24 hours? You can take out half of a liver and give it to somebody else, and in under a year you've grown your liver back, and then so have they. You can regrow, regenerate your body. You can regenerate your relationships. Have you ever decided to fall in love with someone? Maybe someone that you used to love and you fell out of love. Oh, call it a family member. And on your spiritual path, you said, I can no longer hold on to anger and resentment and blame and victimization, so I guess I'm going to have to take the high road and love. And so I choose love. I choose to love this person. And you do that for a little while, and then you find all these reasons to love them. And you've transformed that relationship. Have you ever decided to renew and rejuvenate your finances? It's a fascinating exercise. I love it. I have a magic box, and in it I choose to collect $100 bills. I love this magic box because when I open the lid, it's full of $100 bills. And what that reminds me is that I can create money. Now, I'm not saying it's too wooey-wooey. I put the $100 bills in. But as I put the $100 bills in, I claim more $100 bills in my life, and they show up. And so I'm not a stamp collector. I'm a $100 bill collector. You can do that. You can do that. You know, there are some people who are under the illusion that the real estate market has gone down. I heard that Friday night. It's like, oh my gosh, from a person that was my student. It was all I could do to sit in my seat and not jump up and go, have you forgotten everything I ever taught you? And yet, how many people in this very room sold their houses for exactly what they were asking for? Sold them quickly to people who really wanted them, who bought them and it closed and everything happened in ease and grace. We can regenerate, we can rejuvenate, we can recreate the circumstances in our life just because we decide to, because we think it, because we don't let the facts get in the way. People say, oh, the real estate market's gone in a downturn. Those are just the facts. That's not my truth. My truth is I live in an abundant universe. The truth is I live in an abundant universe. I live in a universe where people are surrounding me that have lots of money to do whatever it is they choose to do. That I'm in my perfect and right place. And if it's not in this house, then this house has got to go and I got to go to where my perfect and right place is. That's what we do when we let the facts go and don't let them get in our way. And we've been doing it for so long. I talked 2 weeks ago about what a big deal it was for those few people on this continent to look at the mighty country of England and say, no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. We're not going to be your colony anymore. We're going to set up something new. Nobody's ever heard of it before. It's called democracy. We're going to be represented by ourselves. We don't need a king. And here we are. The facts would have said, you're going to get overrun. You're going to get in big trouble. This will never work and it'll never happen. But those were just the facts. Facts do not have anything on us that we don't choose to let them have. Sometimes we explain to people why the facts for us are real. I love it when people come into my office and they say, oh, all this stuff you teach, that's true for everybody else in the world, but not for me. I have special circumstances. See, my facts are different than everybody else's facts. My facts come from, well, my IRA went away and now, my money has changed, so I have special facts. No, you don't have special facts. Or people say, well, I have this genetically. So it's come down through genetics into my body, and so there's nothing I can do about it. I have special facts. No, you don't have special facts. Facts are just facts. We argue for our limitations. We try to defend why we're playing a small game. We try to get other people to say, oh, poor baby. Everybody else is a powerful, creative, spiritual being, but you. I guess God just took the day off in manifesting itself as you. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Each one of us is manifesting our lives, and it is our choice to decide whether or not we are going to allow the facts to define us, or whether we're going to go where is ours to go, regardless of the facts in our lives. There are people that I really admire. Get out of my summer to grow stuff. There are people that I really admire, and one of them last Wednesday received the ESPN ESPY Arthur Ashe award for courage. And that was Pat Summitt, the coach of the Lady Vols of the University of Tennessee. And I was watching that, and what I saw of her story was that she got a silver medal in the Olympics. She went to the University of Tennessee. It was her home university. She was hired as an assistant coach, and for some reason, the head coach up and quit. And here she was, 22 years old, as the head basketball coach of the University of Tennessee women's basketball team. Now, the interesting thing back then was that women's basketball was not even considered a sport. It was not recognized by the NCAA. They said, oh, you're just a bunch of girls messing around on the court. You're not real. Whatever. She could have looked at that and said, well, this isn't real. And instead, she said, there is something for me to do, and I'm going to rise to this occasion, and I'm going to bring basketball into the foreground of college sports. She was 22 years old. She said the biggest problem she had was she was the same age as the kids she was coaching. And so she had to get really clear with them that I may be the same age as you, but you are going to listen to me because I know who I am. I am your coach, and I'm not going to let the fact of age get in my way. She had 6 miscarriages. She could have said, there's no way I'm ever going to have a baby. It's just not going to happen. But after she had 6 miscarriages, she had a son. She went through a divorce, and instead of lowering her expectations of life, she raised them. She was one of the highest demanding coaches in the country. She demanded behavior off the court and behavior in the classroom. Every student that was on the women's basketball team for 38 years at the University of Tennessee graduated from college. Every last one. Because she set her standards so high that they had to rise up to that. And part of that was follow through. Part of that was completing that which they had set out to do. And over a year ago, she was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And her response to that was, I'm going to coach another year. And over that last year's coaching, they won their 16th SEC championship. With Alzheimer's, they won the 16th time that title. And then being clear about who she is, she said, okay, I know who I am. It's time to step down because I have other things to do. Not because I'm done, but because I have other things to do. How many times does someone like that have an opportunity to say, the cards are just stacked against me. I'm a woman in a sport that's not even recognized. I'm too young to do this. It's too hard. It's asking too much of me. The players don't want to do what I tell them to do, and so what do? I ask more of them. Fascinating. How many times does someone like that have an opportunity to say, it's just too hard. I'm going to give up and go home. We cannot let the facts of life get in our way from being who we are meant to be. And so I ask you this morning, what are your facts? What are your facts that you're letting stop you or stumble you or even slow you down or even make you question who you are? Is it a medical diagnosis? It's just a fact. Is it an age? It's just a fact. Is it money to come to the prosperity class? It's just a fact. What are the facts? They're just facts. They change over and over and over again. I love this time of year. It happens every 4 years. It makes me so proud, not only of the players from our country, but the players from all over the world who in 2 weeks will join together in London for the Olympics. I love that because it's so symbolic of what we can do. And sometimes people say, oh, well, that kid was just born jumping. You know, that kid must have been on one of those baby jumpers in the doorway and just jumping all their life. There's a kid named Dwight Phillips, who was the Olympic representative from our country for the long jump. He was playing out in the street when he was 14, playing touch football with his friends. The car hit him and shattered both of his legs. He was in casts for months. He had to learn how to walk all over again. He's going to London. He's going to the Olympics. He's going to jump to show people that the facts don't have to get in your way. If you're a jumper, be a jumper. It doesn't matter if your legs are shattered, be a jumper and you will jump again. If you are a rich person, be a rich person. It doesn't matter how much money's in your pocket. Be a rich person and you will be rich again. If you are a lover, be a lover. And it doesn't matter that somebody just left you. Just love and you will be a lover again. Be who you are meant to be. And life will show up and support you and take you wherever you want to go. There's a hurdler, beautiful woman named Lolo Jones. When she was a kid, she was homeless. 5 children in her family. They would go to a public shower and toilet, and they would all spend the night there every night. Single mom, went to 8 schools in 8 years. She said, I wish my mom was here so I could show her how I turned out. Because she's going to London, and she's going to jump the hurdles. And she's going to do it because the facts of being poor, of being homeless, and of going to every different school under the sky didn't change who she was. She's a hurdler, and she jumps over hurdles in life. And then there's Katie Bell. Katie Bell is a young woman. She does the 10-meter dive. When she was born, she weighed 3 pounds, 4 ounces. She didn't thrive. Failure to thrive is a term they use for newborns. She didn't thrive. It took her a long time to put on any weight. And she's petite. And so she looks particularly small on the top of that 10-meter diving board. She hurts herself because she tries so hard. And we just had the U.S. trials of the diving. And she was practicing, getting ready, but she had hurt her shoulder. So she was doing her practice dives with a brace. She made the team and she's going to London. 3 pounds, 4 ounces does not determine what kind of a life you will be. Nothing on the outside determines who you are on the inside. The only thing that will determine who you are on the inside is you, because it's already a given. God is on the inside of you. You are a powerful, creative, spiritual being, alive and well on planet Earth. You can do anything that you set mind to. You can do anything that you decide you can do, or you can let the facts get in your way. I really recommend that the next time a fact rears its head in your life, you look at it and you just turn it into Sergeant Friday and you say, that's just the facts, just the facts. And so it is.